thinking of where God has brought us as a church, the things that he's done in our lives, it's an altar really that we're building. And God had called, he said very, very clearly, he said, never use stone, never use bricks, only stones. And there's a big difference why. And this is what I want you guys to remember, because I believe this is the image. If this was the phrase for 2010, I believe this is the image that God was giving us, is these stones. When it, let there be light. Now, there's a reason why he said choose stones and not bricks. Because bricks, how do you get bricks? You just can't find them growing off a tree or, in the ground, right? You make them. Bricks are a product of our strength. Bricks are a product of our creativity, of our ability, of what we do. And he said, never make an altar with bricks, because then what is really that altar about? That altar is, look what I did, Look, this was in my strength. Look what I was able to do this year. Never bricks, never bricks. It was always stones, because why? Stones are natural. Who made this? God did. And so he said, always use stones, because it's a reflection of look what God did in us. And it's, obviously rocks are firm, it's solid. The Bible talks about that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He never changes, it's constant. So that's what that is. And this is a Hebrew tradition. They would always do that. They always use stones to build altars to remember what God did in our lives. And so when we're talking about let there be, not stuff, but let there be light, it's really, you can compare that maybe to bricks and stones. It's really focusing on not what you were able to accomplish, because we can do nothing on our own strength, the Bible says. It's all on what he can do. It's all on being the stone. And it was very interesting. I heard this on TV the other day, that when it comes to bricks, obviously, bricks, when you stack them up together, you have to put something to hold them in, right? You have to use a mortar or that cement. In the Bible, they actually had mentioned bricks and mortar. Mortar, the same word in Hebrew that we get for mortar, they call it, literally the word mortar in Hebrew gets translated to materialism. And so think about that. Think about bricks. It's all about us and what we can do, and bricks are held together by materialism. And so like that first video we saw, right? Christmas is not about what we want, it's about what we needed. And so that's what it's all about. And really, I want to encourage you guys with that, is making sure, don't let there be stuff in your life. Don't let there be material possessions in your life. We're not going to really talk about it this week, but next week. But 2011, for those that are really big on material stuff, doesn't look like a good year for you. There's a lot of stuff kind of happening and going on. We're going to focus on a little bit, and we're going to kind of really seek God's direction next year, next week. But I think that's why God has been calling us to do this now. We're starting our New Year's resolution now. I think I had that at the very top of your little note. What's our New Year's resolution that God's desire, for us to be able to have for this next year? And I believe it's all related to this. And it's starting to now ground ourselves. Remember that anchor, ground ourselves in him and who he is. And that's going to be our pursuit for next year at a greater extent, is going to be that right there. And so let there be not bricks in your life, not, all these stuff about what you and what you can do and what you've been able to accomplish, but let there be this light, let there be these stones, these memorials in your mind, in your heart, and you can look back and look what God did. Look what God did in my life. And it's going to be a great encouragement, for when it comes to your kids or your friends, to be able to look back and I didn't do this. It was God. It was God. And so I thought that was very interesting how, not just the bricks, but the mortar, materialism. You can't let that, because if this was all made out of bricks and I take all the mortar out of it, we're not going to have a fun time, right? Because we're going to have, everything's probably going to come down on us. Bricks only are held together by that mortars, by materialism and stuff. And so when people are held together by that, and their life is all built around that, and there's no more of that stuff, then their lives come tumbling down. That's what's happening, like I said, a lot in certain places here and in Europe. And it's getting really, I encourage you guys to not just to pray for them, but, during Christmas time, there's been a lot of attacks on Christians in Iraq and Afghanistan, and those bombs that have gone off in mass has killed 11, 12 people. And it's especially in Iraq, a lot of the Christians, Arabic Christians, have been really attacked around this time. So I encourage you guys to really pray for them and keep them in your hearts. But really, that's it. That's the biggest thing that I wanted you guys to walk away with this. As we're going to look back and we're going to face, we're getting ready for our New Year's resolution and we're getting ready for all of that. I wanted this to be the image that you walk away with, of not just to have these stones in your life,